I'm going to be a little bit bold here. We're making the assumption that the roles, the two teams roll up to a CRO. Actually, I don't think it is the CRO. So that's you know, so that's a challenge, you know, from there, because actually, if you look at both sales and marketing, both organizations in terms of who runs those teams, those roles have evolved, okay, which is where you're seeing CRO, and on the marketing side, you're seeing things like Chief Customer Experience Officer. You know, you're seeing all these new variations of, actually, it's a bit like ABM. You know, we've been doing it for years. It's just got a title. So we're going through a trend pandemic at the moment where it's really trendy to sort of like give something a label. So for me, I don't necessarily think it's the CRO. I don't think that's the title that manages the two functions. I think it's a different one. I don't know what it is at the moment, but no doubt there will be an evolution of the CRO, and it will be something that basically is an individual that genuinely understands the challenges that comes with being in sales and understanding the number, but also an individual that understands from a marketing perspective what has to be built, nurtured, and reinvested in. Because actually, even from a marketing perspective, you know, do both organizations today have the same lens on understanding what is the number?
I think that's a good point, Shallu. I think we don't do ourselves any favors as marketeers, as in marketing leaders, but also marketing employees, where we're totally disconnected often from the sales side of the house. If you're in a bigger organization, disconnected even physically where you sit in an office, where you never meet. So I've always said, you know, I've been a CMO and a head of marketing, you know, in a number of companies, to my team. Do you understand how the sellers pay? Do you understand their pressures? Do you know how we report our earnings back to Wall Street for Microsoft or to our investors? Do you understand, you know, what they talk to their customers about? Do you go and visit the customers, right, and not just carrying the bags, actually to add value? And there's a lot of marketeers and a lot of marketing leaders who aren't doing that, because really we've moved on, right? We call ourselves CMO, but actually we're really more Chief Growth Officer. And when you're a Chief Growth Officer, you have to have way more in your locker than being able to just run marketing campaigns. And I think that not enough marketeers, marketing leaders have reinvented themselves. I talk a lot about, I've probably reinvented myself 4 or 5 times in my career, because otherwise I'd be doing 1990s marketing now, and I probably wouldn't have a job as a result of that. But some heads of marketing maybe have got lazy and not reinvented themselves, especially as we were in this digital world. So I will say that we don't do ourselves any favors sometimes to get the top position if the two functions do come together.
Can I just add a quick point, Alex? Yeah. Sure. So I love sort of how we're talking about this, because Shallu, you know, mentioning the trend we're in now and where we're headed, because generationally, if you look at the workplace right now, and I've certainly seen, you know, over my 25 years in marketing, a massive change in the types of people I'm hiring. And I do think, I love to talk about that future of where is it going? Because as we've been talking about technology and all the changes that technology has driven into marketing and into how companies work, that affects the marketing role. And we need to be super evolutionary people, right? We need to adapt, and most of us are as marketers, and understand that this is going to continue to change, and being open to what the possibilities are. I myself, you know, like Scott, I've reinvented my career. I'll say just maybe once or twice, but you know, with the whole inbound movement in the early 2000s, you know, that was a fantastic time to just reinvent and become a digital focused marketer. And now I'm more in the balance, you know, arena. But I'm a huge proponent of just that fusion of sales and marketing, the absolute lockstep fusion, and understanding, like Scott has said, the plays. What is the play? That's the most important. Like, how are you going to market? What is going to resonate with your target audience and with your buyers? And that's the most important thing. And so we use a lot of shared tools between our marketing and sales teams. HubSpot is a perfect example. You know, there's a lot of other tech tools, and we use shared tools, and we have shared meetings every week, and we are absolutely in each other's camps. We totally understand what's going on. And so there's a lot in there, but I do, you know, I love the thought of like, where are we headed? Because the skill sets and the junior marketers that are coming up and entering the field are very different than when I got into marketing, you know, however many years ago.
Yeah, we call that part scientific, part creative. That's how the marketing team's now set up nowadays. Whereas in the old days, I mean, literally 5-6 years ago, it would be 99% all creative or communications marketing. We now have people who understand data and analytics. They can interpret data into insights, use those insights to make forward-making marketing decisions. We have that data available to do that. It's a different world in marketing than it was 5 years ago. And that's back to the connected sales and marketing bit. If you're then having this modern marketing conversation with a seller who still thinks that you do marketing 1990s style, you're set up for failure. So there's a lot of that work that has to happen, starting with the leadership at the top.